My much long-awaited ENT appointment was this afternoon, and shortly after we arrived, we were the first, Mark and I. Shortly after we arrived, we were followed in by a mum and daughter, and after a short time, we compared our appointment times only to find they were the same time. That's happened to me before in France, so I didn't worry too much. I went to a dentist several years ago and turned up into a waiting room with another 8 or 10 people, all of us with the same appointment time. So I wasn't overly worried. And then the doctor came out after we'd been sitting there. I mean, we were all there by at the correct time, and he arrived like 20 minutes after that appointment time. Called the daughter in, and as she went in, an old man came in with a 3 o'clock appointment, and I'm thinking, I haven't got an appointment. I haven't got an appointment. So when the doctor came out again about 10 minutes later, before he took the man in, I excused him and said, I've got an appointment at 2:45. And oh God, he's not nice. He isn't a nice man. He's really, I know he's overworked. A lot of the reviews talk about him being overloaded and overworked, but I've got a feeling he's probably not very nice anyway. So, oh God, it was difficult. He sort of, very brusque as he dealt with me. And he called me in and told me to go and sit there in another room. And I sat in the other room. Then he called me through, and then he looked at his computer, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't see any trace of my appointment. And Celine, who made the appointment for me, said that the secretary was trying to get rid of her. And the secretary doesn't review well if you look on Google. So I think, all in all, I didn't have an appointment. I think the secretary fobbed her off with an appointment that wasn't real. So I now have an appointment for 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning. So that all of that anticipation, I mean, I didn't sort of get into it until after lunch, but you're waiting and waiting, and I just said to Mark, thank goodness I'm not in pain, because I'm not in pain. The problem is still there, but it's not hurting. It's a discomfort. It's an irritant. It's uncomfortable when I yawn or when I swallow, but it's diminished considerably. So I'm pleased I'm not in pain. What day is it today? It feels like it's been busy. We've been busy. So we went to Poitiers again on Wednesday to look at the car, to see it in reality rather than just in photos. And we ended up buying it. We thought that we would end up buying it anyway. We've got no water left. I'm going to get some water. Don't go away. So yeah, so we filled all the paperwork out, signed the paperwork, and we will need to where was I going with that? I'd done what we need to do. We needed to insure it. We did that this afternoon after my ENT appointment didn't happen. Went to the insurance office and have insured it. So when we go back on Wednesday, we will take the green card with us and get that sorted. I requested the bank to lift the limit on my daily allowance for transferring money. And I did that. So that was Wednesday. So on Wednesday afternoon, was it? I asked them to do that, or Thursday morning. And I asked Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon, and I know that our bank advisor isn't there on a Wednesday. So I got a message from her on Thursday morning saying, can you provide me with proof of the car that you're buying? Thank you for your understanding. I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, please may we spend our money? That really pissed me off. But I sent proof. I suppose it's to make sure I'm not laundering money paying for refugees to come across the channel or anything like that. But I just, jumping through hoops, it took all hours and hours, and eventually I was able to pay for the car yesterday late afternoon. So that's done. It's insured. So we're picking it up on Wednesday. So that's pleasing. As we came away, we come past Grand Frais, which I keep calling HelloFresh. So I went in there and I bought, among other things, bought some mussels, which we've had tonight, and they weren't as nice as I'd hoped they'd be. I kept meaning to go do them. I must do them. And I did them this evening, and I wasn't impressed. It's not something I often cook, so I didn't enjoy them. But I also bought a mango because in Grand Frais you get more exotic. So I don't think I probably could get a mango in Leclerc, but I don't look. And I bought a mango to make Mark. Is it a mango lassi? And I keep promising to make it, and every time it's just been a week of, by the time we get to making a meal at the end of our eating window, I'm just too knackered to do any more than the meal or whatever it is. It's like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. So I will do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. We had our main meal this evening because of my ENT appointment. We had art yesterday. So we had our main meal before that. Oh, I made falafels. I'd had a bad night yesterday. I had a bad night last night. I was up for hours in the night. So I'm just tired. And hopefully by tomorrow we'll normalise. And I've been watching Pro Home Cooks on YouTube. He's the American guy who I learnt making sourdough from, and I've been making. I finished off a loaf yesterday. Cooking. Did I cook it yesterday? Or was it today? It was today. Finished it off today, and they're coming out really well. I'm really pleased. I'm really handling them well. I'm not getting covered in gooey sourdough. I've got it sorted. Got it sussed. But I've been watching him, and when I watch lots of cooking shows, I just get so inspired. And he was showing how he dry brines a piece of meat in the fridge overnight. So a piece of steak or lamb chops or chicken. Did he do chicken? Might have done some chicken thighs. So I've got lamb chops in the fridge, which I've seasoned both sides, and they're sitting on a cooling rack on top of a plate. So any liquid that comes out of them will drop onto the plate, and you end up getting a much nicer. I did this in the car trying to explain to Mark. Coat, a nice, the crisping, a nice. I can't think of the right word, but when you cook it, it really cooks nicely, and so you get your pink middle, but a really lovely coating on the outside. So I'm trying that. So that's what we're going to have tomorrow, and we've eaten out a lot because we've been out at around lunchtime, and there's no time for me to cook. We're eating out a lot, and I feel really lucky. But then I get to a point where I miss cooking. I want to cook. I think when we came back Wednesday, we ate at Le Gaston, so we ate there. So we had our meal there. That's it on Wednesday. So we agreed to buy the car, although we've got different paperwork to sign when we get back, because I'm about to say, going around the wrong way, as we got into the car, having left the restaurant, I got a message from Joe saying, I've been thinking, and I don't really think I do want the Tiguan, and all her reasons for that. I can't remember what she said because I was so stunned. Like, oh God, but Joe, she said, and I've just seen you posting, that you signed paperwork on Facebook, so I'm probably a bit late. And I thought, yeah, you're late. So we were sort of left holding the baby, and we'd signed paperwork to buy the car, and we were left with our car, which we had been planning to gift to her, and then she didn't want it for the second time. And so we talked about it, and when I got back here later on in the afternoon, I emailed Frederick and said to him, "Is it too late to part exchange the Tiguan? If it's too late, don't worry. But if it's not, can we part exchange the Tiguan?" So he sent me back an email saying that's fine. Send me some photos. Send me a picture of the car gris, and the mileage, kilometrage. So we whipped off to the car wash because the Tiguan was looking pretty grubby. Put that through the car wash. I took some photos, did all the photos, uploaded them, emailed him, sent them, and by the end of the day, he'd come back with a price. And we were really pleased with the price because it wasn't far off what we would have been trying to get for it had we sold it privately. And selling it privately is, sort of jumping through a few hoops that I don't want to have to really bother with. I don't want to have to jump through hoops. I'd much rather part exchange. So that threw the cat amongst the pigeons. In her defence, she's very busy and her head's not really thinking about anything else apart from her move, and she's working hard, and she had a team building weekend last weekend, so her head's busy. So she doesn't really watch YouTube, and that's where I talk about what's going on. So I don't write on Facebook, "Oh, we've gone to look at a car." I did write, "We've signed the papers," but that's when the first thing she knew about it. So that's better. I always end up doing this. It's 10 to 9. I always end up reaching a point of being really thirsty, and I do drink during the day. I mean, this will be my second pint of water, but I get really thirsty at this time of night, and it's before bed, which isn't good. So yeah, last night it was 10 to 9 now, but 20 past 9 we went to bed last night. Read till about 10, I suppose, and then lay down to go to sleep, and by 2:30 I was awake. That often happens to me. I have four good hours and then I'm awake, and I think that's quite common with older people, that they say that you have a night of two parts. So I got up at 2:45 because I just couldn't. I didn't want to lay there. I've been laying there most nights if I'm awake, but I thought, no, I just want to get up. So I got up. And I didn't know what time it was until I got up, and the problem is I'm gasping for a cup of coffee, and I can't have coffee. I'm not gasping, but if I got up normally at that time, before I was really being really careful about fasting, I might have some warm milk and honey, because that's really quite helpful to aid sleep. But of course I can't have that now, so there's nothing to get up for apart from this. And I was up till, I think I was up till 5 o'clock, and then went back to bed and was up again at 8. So I'm hoping for able to sleep through tonight. And we've got nothing. I don't think we've got anything on at the weekend. We did a bit. We went to art, and we went to the BO shop yesterday afternoon after art, which was a bit of a push, but it's like, if we're out, we might as well go. But they've moved. So they've moved not far away, another 6 kilometres into LeBlanc, but you have to find your way around their shop, which will be really lovely once they've really got it stocked. They're still quite, it's still quite spare or bare in there, and it's a different layout to what I was used to. So I got what I needed, but because of the way the week's been, there's still things I haven't got. So when we came away from the insurance today, we went to the BO shop in Memorial, and I bought some more things because I was running out of garlic and butter and olive oil, and balsamic vinegar wasn't on my list, but I picked some up because I'd run out of that. So yeah, I haven't really been keeping up. I've got plenty of protein, but it's a shortage of vegetable stuff, and I got some kale whilst I was in Grand Frais the other day. I must cook that tomorrow. Don't know how that's going to be. I don't normally cook with kale. I'll have to look for some inspiration on YouTube so that I do something tasty with it, because otherwise it can be quite heavy, I think, heavy going. But like, what was it? What did we used to get at home when I was a kid? Greens could be a bit sort of bitter, couldn't they, when you're younger? Talking about being a kid, in the BO shop, because I was having not had my appointment and having waited for it, and because I'm tired, having one of those days if I wanted to eat, needed to eat. And actually, when I looked at the phone later as I was coming home in the car, my blood sugar, my glucose had dropped quite a bit, so I was reaching that point. But I bought a couple of packets of crisps, one for Mark, one for me, but they didn't have any exciting crisps in there, and it was just a small packet of crisps, ordinary potato crisps, slightly salted. And I sat in the car eating mine on the way home. And I said to Mark, this is just like the crisps we had when we were younger. And he went, what, with the blue bag of salt? And I said, no, not with the blue bag of salt, but you can really taste the potatoes. They're not your uniform in size. They're quite small, but they just were subtly. They had a subtle taste to them, and it reminded me of the crisps we had when we were younger. I don't know how many of you, well, obviously, I'm talking about in the UK. Remember, you're going into the grocers or the greengrocer, and they'd got a tub on the floor, like a big cardboard tub, and inside that were the crisps. And I can't remember now whether they were Smith's crisps. I don't know which ones had and they had a small wax twist with salt in it, so you could put your salt on your crisps. Oh my God, that's going back. That's going back 64 years for me. I'm 68, and I probably was about 3 or 4 when I remember that sort of thing. So yeah, they were really nice, actually. Really nice for crisps. I think that's all. We are in charge of making sure the cats are fed and watered for our neighbour up the road. There's a whole double door that we have to go through so that the cats can't come out as we go in because they'll run away from us. But the double door and the other door is like that. We're squeezed in the middle. Mark's like trying to unlock. It has to be him, because I went up there to do it on my practice run on Thursday morning, and my fingers won't turn the keys. It hurts too much. So I said, Mark, you're going to have to do it with me. So we went in. One cat ran away up a ladder into a loft area. And my neighbour had said that he'd moved the ladder so that they didn't do that, because this ladder was pretty erect. So I just hope the cat can get down. When we go tomorrow, I'm going to have to put that back at an angle, because I'm not sure the cat can get down. You can get up, but not down. So we saw one cat. There's probably 2 in there. They're in a big sort of garage with a workshop attached, and they're completely enclosed, but they've got their food in there, their litter tray, their water. And he comes back Monday, so they'll be all right in there. He keeps them in there because there's a couple of cats around here. We don't know for sure who it was that attacked and bit Jazz, or whether it was a snake. We don't know that, but he feels that one of the local cats, is fighting, and so he's protecting his cats from that, and that's why they're shut in. But they've got plenty of room, and it's cold. It's turned very autumnal. I'm definitely going to have long sleeves on in the morning when I get up. It warmed up and it was quite pleasant late afternoon, but and it's cooled down again this evening. What is 13 out there? I think it's going to be the 9 on Sunday morning, early hours. Yeah, so autumn's here. We've had lots of rain, which has been really nice. Lots of rain. We had a day full of rain. I don't know what we're expecting, whether we're expecting rain tomorrow. I'm not complaining about the rain or the cold. I don't care. Somebody, what's it say for somebody? No, it's not going to be rainy. Top temperature 18, lowest temperature 13, or 9 in the morning. So yeah, no rain for tomorrow. Okay. I think that's all. And if it isn't, it doesn't really matter, because none of it's that important, is it, really? Yeah, I think that's all, yeah. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. You might get this at 10 o'clock, or you might get it in the morning. Whatever. Have a nice one.